Hello, this is poorfortrump@gmail.com. I am a poor person, and there are other poor persons who are in agreement with me, and we really would like to see Donald Trump be the next president. We definitely don't want Hillary Clinton to be the next president. We think she's a fraud. We think that she's a very nice person, but her ideas are not going to help poor people or middle-class people or the United States. That's what we think, and that's why we don't want her to be president. Now, the news media wants Hillary Clinton to be president. They do not want Trump to be president. The leaders of the Democratic Party do not want Hillary Clinton. They don't want Donald Trump to be president, the leaders of the Democratic Party. And many of the leaders of the Republican Party don't want Donald Trump to be the president. Why? Because each of those parties has a party system where you earn your right to get a public office, and then they run you for office or let you run and help you. And people make themselves wealthy and important by running for office and for being in office. And even if they're in the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, they want someone like them in office. They don't want someone like Donald Trump in office, because Donald Trump is not one of those persons. He's not running for president because he needs to be president. And he's not, look, the Democrats put Hillary Clinton up and one other person for the primaries because they wanted Hillary Clinton to be president 8 years before she started to run. That's called a rigged system, which Donald Trump said several times, but he didn't explain it. Now, the Republican Party had like 12 or 15 possible candidates, and they were all the same except Donald Trump. Every one of the other candidates was a career politician trying to make themselves rich and famous and important by getting paid by the government to pretend they're doing something for you. And they don't do anything for you. They do it for themselves and for the people the rich people that put them in office. And Hillary Clinton talks about taxing the top 1%. Well, it's the top 1% of people that put her in office. And the whole tax system in this country is controlled by the Democrats for the last 80 years. Republicans have only had a little tiny bit of say. They've hardly ever controlled Congress, and Congress makes the laws. And so the rich people pay a lot of taxes, but the truth is they don't pay any taxes because the Congress has been controlled by Democrats who, the rich people that put them in office, get a break by not paying any taxes. And who pays all the taxes? The white middle class and the black middle class. The middle class. So you got people on SSI and food stamps and Section 8, and they have a place to live and food and money. Of course, half of them are not responsible with their money. So by the middle of the month, they have no SSI left. And they have food stamps, and some of them are using the food stamps to buy booze or getting cash for them, half price, and then using it to buy something like drugs. And nothing is done about it. Once in a while they catch someone and make a stink about it, but there's so many people doing it for every one they catch that it's just a scam. Food stamps don't help the poor. They help the poor to be able to buy food so the grocery stores don't fail. And the food producers sell food. And since the people who are poor can afford the food. If the food goes up a little, they can handle it. But who can't afford to buy food? Families that have a husband and a wife both working, middle class, and they're paying so much taxes, and everything they buy is so expensive, and they have to cut back on their food. That's absurd. That's a rigged system. It's wrong. And the Democrats are the one who've created it. The Republicans haven't made it that way. It's not true. Now, Hillary Clinton wants you to think that the government can make jobs, and it can't make jobs. The government can only do two things. It can force you to die, and it can force you to give your money to the government. That's it. There's nothing else the government can do. The government doesn't have any money unless it takes it from a person who made it, or who has it. And the idea of a government is you take money from everybody equally, and you build the roads, and you do the things that give everyone an equal chance to benefit, like a road or a sidewalk. Then what people do with it, that's another issue. And any jobs that Hillary Clinton's going to make, the way she's talking about it, by the government, are going to last a little while and they'll be over. And the only way they'll continue is if she's collecting more money, more taxes from more people to pay other people to do work. And it doesn't work. We've been doing it for 250 years and it still hasn't worked. In order to be able to hire somebody to do a job, you have to invest money. Now listen to this question. How much does it cost to create a job? And if you're poor or middle class, you'll say, well, nothing. And that's because you're a fool or you're stupid. If you want to have a job for somebody, to do something and make a profit, to make money, there's got to be an investment. Any job in the world, before you can have the job, someone has to pay money to create a place where that job can be, for the job to do it. You want to be a farmer? You got to have a field to grow the crops in. And someone has to buy the field and set it up. You want to be a lawyer? Well, that's different. You got to go to school, but after a while, you got to have an office. And the office costs money. Any job in the world takes an investment. You want to drive a taxi? Someone's got to buy a taxi and pay for the license and the fees and everything else. To have a job costs money. Is that stupid? No. But anybody like a Democrat who thinks you can get jobs without investing money, they're stupid. Now, who has money to create jobs with? The poor don't have any money to create a job with. And the middle class don't have money to create a job with. So who creates jobs? The wealthy people create jobs. Why do they create jobs? Because they have lots of money and they can buy a taxi and say to you, now look, drive this taxi and we'll split what we make. You get half and I get half. So they do that. And if they have enough money to buy 10 taxis, they're making 10 times what each taxi driver is making. But they deserve it because they've created 10 jobs for 10 taxi drivers. That's what Donald Trump has done as a private citizen. He's made money for others by investing his money. That's why we want Donald Trump to be president, because that's the kind of person we need for president. Not someone who uses government money to pay other people, but persons who understand how to create a job. And we're willing to do it like he did. He's created 10,000 jobs for 10,000 persons. And then he should have $1 billion, and he shouldn't have to give half of it to the government. This is poorfordonaldtrump@gmail.com. If you email us, you'll get a response with a long explanation of what we think. If you're poor, vote for Donald Trump. Thank you.